Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. And we're continuing here at Boardmills. And we're outside Trinity Presbyterian Church, Boardmills. Now, this is the third church that I've videoed today. And I'm not sure if this is the church that they use or where it's the church hall, or whether the one down the road that I filmed earlier is the church hall. I'm not too sure. But anyway, it's certainly Trinity Presbyterian Church, Boardmills, and it says there, the former first Boardmills Presbyterian Church. So this was the first one, and the second one was up the road there, which is no longer there. It's just a graveyard, and I done a video there, and then I done the other one, which is down the road. So very confusing here with the Presbyterians and Boardmills. But it says the former first Boardmills Presbyterian Church amalgamated 2002 to form Trinity Boardmills Presbyterian Church. And there's a big connection with this church here and the Battle of the Boyne, because in another wee video when I was in Killaney Graveyard, which is not too far from here on the Loch Road, I mentioned a gentleman called Robert Edgar, and he joined the army of King William III in Scotland, and he and a friend called HUGH McKEE fought at the Battle of the Boyne in 1690 and also in the Battle of Aughrim in 1691 under General James Douglas. And afterwards then they settled in the area of Lisbane, which is not too far from here. And there's actually a monument to the man HUGH McKEE, the soldier who fought in King William's army. And so I'm going to show you that, and it's very unique. So this is a church here, and this is actually McKEE Hall. So no doubt it's mentioned, it's named in memory of the McKEE family. So fantastic. And it says here, the generous gift of John McKEE Esquire, New York, USA, 1826. And so it's called McKEE Hall, as you can see. So absolutely fantastic. So some of the McKEE family went to America. So that's the church there. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at a unique gravestone, or should I say monument. And you can see it actually from here, because you can see a finger there pointing up into the air, and that's the monument that we're going to have a wee look at. And it was only through a farmer who lives here locally, who I was chatting to, actually told me about this monument. But I didn't realise that it actually mentioned HUGH McKEE and also Robert Edgar, who fought at the Battle of the Boyne. But it actually does mention it here on this pillar here. So I was surprised whenever I read it. Now it's dusk, it's still daylight, but there's not a big lot of daylight left, so hopefully we'll be able to read this. So that's the hand with a finger pointing upwards, and that's obviously the McKEE crest, I would assume. That's fantastic, isn't it? It's like pointing up to heaven. And it says McKEE, and it says they are not here but risen. So I'm going to try and read this to you. Unfortunately it's a bit hard to read, but it's in memoriam of HUGH McKEE, son of John and grandson of HUGH McKEE, who with Robert Edgar joined the army of King William III in Scotland, fought at the Battle of the Boyne and settled in Lisbane in 1690. And then it says born 1734, died 1818. His wife Anne Warnock of Rurik, the Ards, 1745 to 1812. So obviously that's later. That's not the same one that fought in the Battle of the Boyne. And then it says their children: Alan, 1765, 1850. Robert 1737, 1828, Jane 1775, 1795, and John 1778, 1812. And then it goes on. So there you are. It's fantastic to have this, isn't it? And it says here, in memory of Robert McKEE, Toddstown House, died 7th of June 1980. Also his wife Elizabeth died 7th of July 2002. And their son Robert Martin died 31st of March 2020. So that's very modern. And I think that's the thistle, the Scottish thistle, if I am correct. So we'll have a wee look at the other sides then. So this is Robert McKEE of Pugsburn, I think that is, I'm not sure. Son of James of the Ockley and grandson of Hugh, 1811, 1896. And his wife Elizabeth Little, 1821 to 1906. And then it goes on down. And it says their daughter, Isabella McKibbin, 1853, 1871. Their son, John McKEE, 1851 to 1931, who erected this monument, was the faithful and generous friend of First BOARDMILLS congregation and donor of the adjoining McKee Hall, interred in Woodland Cemetery, New York. So it was actually John who actually gave the hall. We can't see well, there's the hall there. That's the hall. So that's the hall, and it was John whose that plaque mentions, it's named after him, John McKEE. And so he was 1851 to 1931. And so it was him that actually had this monument. Now you can see the shamrock on that side. So it was him that had this monument erected in honour of the McKee family, and also of Hugh McKee, who actually fought at the Battle of the Boyne with Robert Edgar. So we'll have a wee look at the back and see if there's anything on the back of it. And there is. See if I can read this. A wonder of the race from distant climes, revisiting, I think that says something like that anyway. This spot has penned these lines and raised this stone to guard in hallowed trust his kindred's memory and great-grandsire's dust, resting in hope that at the Saviour's feet we yet will reunite when Zion's pilgrims meet. That's lovely, isn't it? So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, and there's a key. I'm not sure what the key's for now. But there you are, that's a key anyway of something. So I'll give you another wee look at the hand and the monument here. And of course that's the McKee Hall, named after John McKee of America. So there you go. So that's fantastic, isn't it? And I never really showed you the church, so I'll show you the church here before we wrap this wee video up. I haven't really got time to look around this graveyard, but seems to be quite a lot of old graves here too. So maybe I will get back to have a wee look. I've still more things to do here, because apparently, according to my research anyway, the McKee house and also the Edgar house, a gable wall of both houses is meant to be still standing now. Whether they're still standing today or not is another matter, but certainly the research that I done, whenever the articles were wrote, they were definitely standing, although covered in moss. So I hope to be able to locate those if I can. I also was hoping to do the windmill today, the John Fitzsimmons windmill, which was built in 1813, but the farmer allows me in, but there's cows in the field, so he says you go on in, but he says I'll probably crowd around you, but I certainly didn't want to take the chance anyway. So that's the church, but I hope to do the windmill at some other stage. So that's the church, and then that's the McKee Hall. just facing it. And of course, it was named after the generous gift of John McKEE, Esquire, New York, USA, 1826. So there you go. So thanks for watching, and God bless.